So this is just going to be a random video. I want to talk about it right now. Just to be quick. Will the Flash film succeed in the box office? The reviews are coming out. I think John Campea did his review saying it's not one of the best DC, best superhero films out there, which I mean, when Warner Brothers do that, they need to be careful with that because they're already, their name is David Zaslav, his name and his reputation is not good. He needs to be kind of honest with some of these films and be like, it's a good film. I can see myself rewatching it again. That's an honest response. And I believe that more so than you saying it's the best DC film, best superhero film. No. When you say it's one of the best DC films, that's fine because we don't have too many of those. But when you say it's one of the best superhero films, we got a problem. If they would have said, well, this is our version of Spider-Man No Way Home in a way, but with a little twist or spin of, spin. That's fine. I could take that. You're being honest, but you're also trying to tell you it's different, but this is our version. I'm okay with that. Your wording, your delivery, the way you do it, you're not trashing nobody else's film, but you're not trashing your own film, but you are kind of keeping it vague and keeping it honest and letting people know, go check this film out. It's very good. It's worth your time. That's what they need to do. They're trying to tell people to go see. It's too late. You got James Gunn coming out doing some stupid shit about this whole announcement, Gods and Monsters, but he kind of shitted on the other films. This is what he should have said. And this is what I would have said. And this is my point. The Flash film is going to reset the whole DC universe. DC Studios bullet point or DC Studios blueprint film starts with The Flash. Go check it out. That's what you do. And all you needed to do was some after credit scenes. You don't need to do much. And this is where I'm starting to have a little issue with James Gunn. If you're a fan, a true fan, you would know all you need to do is make a scene. Have Ezra Miller come out, do a scene behind the scene, make it hidden, and you can set the universe. That Flash film honestly, the Flash film should show Superman. We should get a Superman. And he goes in the future, he's like, Kara? And it's Kal-El. He said, no, I'm Clark. But it's nice to meet you too. It's nice to see you too, Barry. Nice to see you too, Barry. And that's the first after credit scene. The second after credit scene is when he dies. I will kill off Ezra Miller's Flash. Second after credit scene is when he comes back and he's like, well, I lose my powers and I can't be the Flash no more. But then he comes back, he sees the world, and either A, you kill him off, which is probably the most reasonable idea to do because we don't have to see this motherfucker no more. Or B, you take away his powers where he's not killed off, but he's not a factor to the new universe no more. He's like, there's no speedster. However, Wally West or one of the Flashes from another world comes in and tells him, hey, comes in this world, or you have Wally West. Iris West's brother, he comes in and he's the new version, new Flash. But Barry's retired. He's no longer has his power. He sacrificed his powers to get his mom back. And he could have sacrificed his power to get his dad back too. His mom back. And he sacrificed his powers to get his mom back. Well, not his mom. He sacrificed his powers to get his dad, to go back to the world he was before. If that makes any sense. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. And that's what you do. You have another after credit scene where you show a new Flash, or you show new Flash, and it's Wally West. You just show Wally, and but I'll still have it showing Superman because pretty much the film is focusing on Superman, or Kara, Man of Steel, so I would still focus on that. And that's the after credit scene. Easy peasy. One to cost you no more than maybe not even remotely no more than about what's depending on people's contracts and timing and CGI and special effects. special effects. It wouldn't cost that much. But that's a plan. You not doing that is showing me that either A, you don't know the material, or B, you are not giving a fuck about none of these films, which is fine, but you gotta make us go see it. The film is making me go see because of Michael Keaton. And that's it. Cool. Selling it for Michael. Because Michael Keaton is pretty much saving the film. If he's not in it, I want to go see it. That's the reason I'm going to see it, because of Michael Keaton. That's it. But that's my opinion on it. Also, I want to talk about this for one quick second. You can clearly see that Ann Snardoff and Walter Hanaba was erasing every male character that was a superhero. Batman and Superman. Now, what I see here in this film is that the Flash New World was going to erase Man of Steel, Clark Kent. When Walter Hanaba came out and said, "Oh yeah, we were going to bring him back in a crisis." Okay, and in your mind, you're like, "Okay, that's cool." No, Crisis of Infinite Earth is multiple Superman in different multiverse. Different multiverse. So you're saying to yourself, wait a minute. So Clark Kent doesn't exist in the main universe that you're doing? No. They're going to put Clark Kent, Henry Cavill's Clark Kent, into another universe that we will never see again till Crisis. Ben Affleck, same way. They were going to use Michael Keaton to build up this Batgirl, and they were going to start that new world with these female characters. David Zaslav came in, saw it, and has all that shit. Thank God. You thought DC was going to be bankrupt. Now it's going to be definitely bankrupt. And that's why I was so angry. I made a video about that Walter Hanaba and Snardoff were nothing more than fucking I don't even want to get into that. Snakes. Because she wanted to push her own agenda. They were trying to get away from the Snyderverse. It's like, fine, get away from it, but don't look at the good of the Snyderverse. Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, fucking Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Before Ezra Miller did his stupid shit, there was some positive coming out the Snyderverse. The problem with it was people kept saying, just give them a new direction, just paint it differently. And the film and Snardoff and company were pissed. Because now they had a pickle on their hands again. They're like, oh fuck, this Zack Snyder film actually was pretty good. It made Warner Brothers look incompetent. It made the people who were running the show incompetent. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They just needed positive reaction. The Justice League film, the Zack Snyder version, is one of the most well-received one of the most well-received DC films out there. I mean, of course, the Suicide Squad came out. It kind of changed that game a little bit, but it's one of the ones out there. So clearly that direction they were going, it was working. Didn't win everybody over, but it was working. You just had to keep that direction going. People say, oh, it was better than Avengers. Of course, Avengers didn't have 4 hours, but it is better than Age of Ultron, I can say that. But anyway, back to this thing. I do think Michael Keaton's going to make it. Michael Keaton's going to help it get to maybe $500 or $600 million. I do not see this film making $1 billion. I don't see it making $800 million, even though that's what they want to do to break it. But if it makes $600 to $700 million, to me, that's a success. They take it and run with it, because that might be the most they're going to get out of all these goddamn films, from the damn Shazam film and from Aquaman, because Aquaman 2 ain't going to make $1 billion too. And that's the one they should have, which is sad. How is it that a $1 billion franchise, your first film made $1 billion and the second one, which James Wan's name is on it, won't even come close to that because of all the freaking Amber Heard bullshit and everything else to reshoot. It's a mess. That's Walter Hanaba's fault. I would have took her ass out once I heard that litigation, because see, what they thought in their head was believe all women and destroy all men. Him and Ann Snardoff, and when that shit came out last year, that probably threw a monkey wrench and everything. Like, oh shit, this doesn't look good. We gonna have to do some movie magic. Oh yeah, and then David Zaslav came in and probably just shook his head like, what the fuck? Because if you notice, when James Gunn was doing the announcement, He talked okay, highly about Shazam. He was like, okay. And he talked a little bit. He kept talking how good the Flash film was. But when it came to Aquaman, he dismissed that. Dismissed that film. And you're sitting there like, why he dismissed it the way he did? Because he already knows that's a train wreck. That film is a train wreck. Which is sad because that film was $1 billion. The first one was $1 billion. No entry in DC made $1 billion the first entry. That was the most one I didn't think was going to make $1 billion, but that one did. That is sad and fucking pathetic. And it's nerve-wracking. But that's all Warner Brothers and Ann Snardoff and company, because they thought the chemistry between Amber Heard and Jason Momoa was good. No. It was the special effects. It was Jason Momoa. And again, it was kind of paying homage to the source material. Say what you want about Jeff Johns. When it comes to the Aquaman run and the Green Lantern run, he's the king of it. He makes some good stories. Him being involved really helped. Him being involved him being involved in Aquaman or Green Lantern is good. Now, the first Wonder Woman, Zack Snyder was involved in, you could tell. Because when Patty Jenkins wrote that shit by herself, it was a travesty. But I do think it's going to be a success. Just a minor success. It's going to do well reception-wise. Box office-wise is another different story. I think it's going to gross about $600 million to maybe $500 to $600 million, the most. If it goes to 7, I'll be shocked. But that's what I see it's going to be. It won't make 8. If it makes 8, I'll come on here and say, wow, it made $800 million. It's actually, they might get their money back. Because Shazam, they lost money on that one. And they're about to lose some money on Aquaman. So they're probably hoping to God this film does well. But yeah, as always, guys, like, subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day. See you guys next video.